We are creating this Creative Ursula look with devil horns as tentacles, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you want to see how I used prosthetics to create the tentacle illusion, keep on watching. Okay, so I picked up these devil horns from Amazon. They're by Cinema Secrets. I did not realize they were large sized, so they do not fit. I had intended to buy them to do like almost like a devil Ursula inspired look, but clearly my forehead is not big enough for these. So we're gonna incorporate these as tentacles elsewhere. I'm thinking about doing one here and one there, although it kind of almost looks like it doesn't match. So maybe I'll just do it on the chest instead. So let's get ready to apply these. So I did go ahead and clean off the area where I'm going to apply them with some toner to get rid of and dull down the oils. And then we're going to go in with some Mayron liquid latex. This is clear. If you are allergic to latex, please disregard this tutorial because it's all latex. There is silicone options. You just have to find them. But personally for like the prosthetics, I've only been using latex. So what I'm going to do is just grab some on a cotton round, and then we're just going to dab it where I'm going to put, essentially I'm using this as glue. And then we're gonna place one, let me see how I'm gonna do this. I think we're gonna do it this way. And just press that on, just to get it essentially to stick. Because we're gonna use latex to tie it down onto the chest and create like a very bumpy texture. That's the one thing I like about latex, is that you can create a very bumpy and rough texture with it and it still looks cool. Because it's very hard to blend latex down like seamlessly, at least for me it is. I prefer for a more seamless blend, I usually prefer to use liquid silicone. Okay, so now that one's down. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one. Probably a bad idea for me to put it on top of a cut, but that's fine. Whatever, YOLO. Okay, we're just gonna put it right there. I need more latex. Definitely not enough latex. Oh, no! Oh, fudgesicles. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, we're gonna put it here anyway, so might as well. Yeah, I definitely got too much latex on me. That was not the plan. And this is where I say makeup has a mind of its own, because... Anyway, going back over here. This one's going to be a little more difficult because it's actually on the crease of the neck. So I'm going to have to be careful when I bend. So another thing I'm doing is putting a little bit of latex on the actual prosthetic too, the edges of it. And I'm going to allow that to get tacky. I'm using it almost like a spirit gum. I personally don't like spirit gum. So I'll either use Prosade or latex to stick whatever I'm trying to stick to myself. Same thing. This one I kind of got a little messy with it, so, but that's okay. This is gonna be a very, very messed up Ursula, so I'm not worried about it. With creative looks, costume makeup in general, don't be overly concerned with perfection. Costume makeup doesn't need to be perfect. All right, and just press those on. Let it all set. I could feel the horn when I turn. So now we're just gonna wait and let that dry. Okay, now once that starts to set, you can go in with more latex. Just on the cotton round, I always recommend getting disposable items when you're working with latex, whether it be Q-tips, cotton balls, disposable beauty blenders, because if you use any makeup brushes, they're ruined. You cannot use them again. So we're gonna go in and just start dabbing along where it all meets. You're probably gonna have to do a couple layers of this just to hide that line. So far this one's about 2 to 3 layers. I did 2 layers in some areas, 3 in others, just until I was able to blend in that edge. So the neck bending part is giving me a little bit of a hard time, which I kind of expected. So I'm just gonna go in with a little extra latex there. Okay, so once you're happy with the layering, you're gonna let it set. Latex does take about 15 to 20 minutes to set. If you're in a time constraint, you can use a blow dryer to dry it quicker. I personally let it set while I do my eye makeup. That way if I have to make any adjustments to it while I'm doing that, I can. But as of right now, this is what we have going on. So instead of setting it with a translucent powder, I'm going to actually go in with a mattifying foundation. I actually don't like this foundation. This is the Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Snow. Not my favorite. It is mattifying. So what I'll do is I'll dab that on my chest when I'm ready to start working with shading and everything like that. But I'll come back and show you guys that. I just got to get started on my base makeup. Okay, so now that my latex is set, I'm going to go ahead. I started bringing my foundation down. I am using a white eye primer. This is from Amazon. I'm just putting some of it on the back of my hand. Using two color adjusters, blue and red. So we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we want this to be, as you can see, a more muted purple. So I like having the white because it does give that, you know. And then we did 1 drop of red. I'm gonna go mix it with my finger first. You can do this with you can do this technique with using foundations as well. Okay, so now going in with a beauty blender, I'm just going to go ahead and start patting. And you may have to make multiple batches, that's okay. You just take it on the back of your hand with the beauty blender and just start patting all over. Depends on how far down you want to go as well. Don't be afraid to start getting on top of the horns either, because remember, we're making these into tentacles, so they're not supposed to be red. So we're gonna be here a while just tap tap tapping. And if you have difficulty reaching like certain spots with the blender, brush what's left on my blender here for real quick on the red spots. So now I'm gonna show you a technique to get into all the grooves. Concealer brush. This is what I use to just start dabbing into all those sections that I can't reach. You just start stippling it on, dip it in, and then just pack it in where you can't reach with your beauty blender. You may still get some of that red popping through, but I promise it's fixable. So this is the completed look with the tentacles. I love meshing different ideas together when it comes to makeup looks and characters. I thought this would have been perfect to incorporate devil horns, but instead use tentacles. I will be posting the full tutorial soon for you guys. I will tag it in the description once it is available. But if you guys are looking for a fun creative Ursula outfit and want to recreate this, I just want to thank you guys so much for continuing to watch and support my videos. I hope you guys enjoy seeing me create these fun looks and are learning a little bit of tips and tricks along the way. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching and hope to see you in the next one.